What's going on, everyone? How you doing? Ron here, TechTipsToGo. So let's talk about Omi. Omi. Oh my God, the pain is real. Anyways, I left this post. I said the pain is real for Omi. Everything is pumping, but Ecomi is still in the red. Pumped a little, but hardly anything. So is Ecomi dead? And I replied, I don't think so. They still sell products and have real revenue. So one thing that I like to look at, but one thing that I've always said before is community is everything. Once you break trust in the community, your project is probably dead because then they don't trust you with tokens, token supply, burn, the product announcement that you come up with. So if a chain continues to come up with announcements, partnerships, and news, they're not going to believe you. So I used to talk about another coin before, and at the beginning, people had a lot of trust in the CEO until people started noticing the delays, the lies, the types of partnerships. You'd exaggerate something that almost looked like more of like a sign up. So it's exactly like this is a case. I order something from Amazon, but can I say out there that I partner with Amazon? Probably not. So that was to the extent of it. I won't name any names, but anyways, the pain is real, Akomi. So this person replied, and for me, like I said, I believe in like what's happening behind the scenes because if they have runway for money, if they continue to make revenue, they continue they can continue to build a product or change the tokenomics, change the way things work, as long as they got runway to survive as a company. That's the way I look at things. But when I look at the Ecomi post, it is unbelievably the complete opposite of where it was in 2021. And that just shows and tells you whoever's building a community, be very careful. And I always say this trust and transparency, and I say adoption is probably like the biggest things. You could have the greatest product, greatest leaders, etc. And that's why like we're building Donor, but for me, I'm not in a rush to build Donor and sell it to you guys, okay? Because the main thing for me is I like to keep face. If I see something wrong internally, I'm not going to promote something, I'm not going to push it. And for me, Donor is more like, okay, once we get adoption and I show you guys it's real, then you could kind of get the statistics of what the future could be because we're getting adoption. More adoption equals buybacks and burns, etc. But like I said, once you ruin the trust is over, the game is over. And when you look at Ecomi, it's real. Like, check this out. So this guy responded. Shout out to Edson Cristobal. He says, here's the thing. Everyone's scared and in doubt because Randy Chavez called so many bottoms, laughing my ass off. Well, guess what now? He's no more confident what will be the bottom. Enjoy the date. Enjoy the ride and rip those who sold the bottom, especially below zero threes. And I respond, how are the collectibles selling right now? Because that's the main thing for me. If you got launches, etc., and people are selling, people are buying, you've got a business model. Okay, whatever happens behind the scenes, hopefully you can resurrect the community. Because right now, like homie, there's a lot of holders out there, still a lot of believers, but the community is really trash right now, and people are calling them a scam. Let's take a look at the comments here. And this was something posted. I don't know where the date here is. Okay, September 22nd, so a couple of months ago. The typical we're down 98%. And that's a given. Everything's down 98%. So the Dodge, this is what he says. They never mattered and they knew it, but they pushed burns over and over and used the VV community to believe it mattered. How much more do people need to see? Dirty gems and burning the supply. LOL. Ha ha ha. In front of our face, 221 billion, and we're lower than ever. Okay, so my response to this is when you see a chain and a token with 750 billion supply, to me that's a red flag. Why do you need 750 billion tokens in the first place, right? But okay, I invested into Ecomi. I didn't go all in. A key takeaway here, and I'm not too sure. I think I overheard. I'm not too sure if his name's Randy, but he was telling a story. He bought Tesla, etc. But then he also went all in into Ecomi because Omi's the greatest. Did he show that? Probably not. He probably believed Ecomi at the time because they're doing great sales. So no harm on him. That's what he just believed in, right? And if everyone did, you looked at the sales, you hopefully looked at what they were doing. what they were doing with the Ecomi, what they could possibly do. But then you saw the delays. As more delays came, people started to speculate, the FUD, the lies, etc. And now you got to hurt community. So, but anyways, my whole point here is like, when you have 750 billion coins, do you really need 750 billion coins? I think that's just a way to wash things in the background, because it's not like traditional stocks, bottom lines, P&L, your balance sheet, your profit and loss. When it comes to the tokens, you've seen it yourself. How easy it to sell is it to transfer 2 billion tokens and use retail as liquidity? It's not hard, right? If you look at it, it's crazy. But anyways, this person says blockchain Rick James, and I don't know if this is true. Those tokens were never going to be entered into circulation. Burning them has no effect on the price. There was no reason to celebrate. Ecomi put emphasis on it because they had delivered zero and have nothing good to say. You've waited years for anything, and the community celebrated absolutely nothing. Okay, so I don't know. Like, yeah, I think they had a large supply, 750 billion, and maybe there was, like I said, do you really need 750 billion tokens? And I think 200 billion or 350 billion were never going to be put on that market, but they burned it. So it was actually a nothing equation. This guy commented search. I agree with him 100%. He says, "Bro, Omi died years ago. Take your loss and move on." That's what I did, and yeah, for real, because there's so many plays out there. There's new tokens, there's new layer ones, there's base chain. Solana is hot. Solana memes. Stick with the basics. Look for something with a million market cap. There's one guy in shout out to Tassie Boy in our group. His strategy is look for market caps like a million with great volume. That is not memeish, but it's on a new layer one, maybe like base, and he's been killing it. He sent me a text this morning. He's like, "Ron, I'm killing it. Just made $5,000 sleeping." This guy Mario's World says yes, it was a pump and dump. The VVT members can offload to the real Randy Chavez ease of the world, who had blind faith and emotion without data to back up this Ponzi company. I don't think so. VV Inu says devs are selling. New 4-year low. Mr. Gene Mellon says, just sell your stack, mate. This token is probably the worst token in existence. With an insane amount of selling, no token metric, and no leading team to implement anything. Run. Um, yeah, I wouldn't say it's one of the worst tokens. I think it's pretty bad in terms of community, and I would say deliverables. And now trust is your factor, the key factor. So once you have that, you got a broken community. I would just say, if I were one of the owners, I'd just probably go start something else, unless in the background you've got a lot of runway, a lot of money, and your products continue to sell. Eventually, the community will turn around when Bitcoin gets to 250,000. Hopefully, when Bitcoin is 250,000, Ecomi is at least above 1 cent. Hopefully, but you never know. I haven't really been following Ecomi, but I just wanted to make this video just to show how real, how crazy this is. Like, I haven't seen the amount of FUD like from such a great project. Everyone had these little red circles going around it, but I don't know what happened. It just kind of blows my mind seeing this. Yeah, and you start to see this. That was from non-circulating supply, so it doesn't matter. They still haven't burned the 5.2 billion Omi that they promised they would a year ago from the circulating supply. And that's key. Are they burning it from the circulating supply, not from a dead wallet? So, 5.2 billion is a lot. But, like even 5.2 minus your, let's say, 300 billion that is circulating out there, it's still got a lot to chip away at. This guy says it's a scam. Omi is garbage. They're lying to you. For goodness sake, buy something like Bitcoin or ETH. Stop trying to buy the cheapest thing, thinking it's going to go to skyrocket. Uh, Baby Lomi says, congrats to the great community. They funded their own investment to dead. American people are just mentally mental. I think he meant what he meant to say. And for me, um, I call it out how it is, because if I start to talk about a token, and I've talked about a token before, and not to say that I was a face of the token or a particular token, but I'd rather save my community than give them hopium. So I've got, I know some influencers that continue to talk about a token, and they can continue to say, but they're building. But then it's like, what are you building? What is your runway? What is the revenue you're making behind the scenes? If you're not making revenue, how are people going to believe in this token? Like you've been building for like 4 or 5 years, but nothing to show. Like, okay, where's your transactions? Because this is why we're in blockchain, right? You see the transactions, you tie it to a revenue, it makes sense, right? It gives you runway. And that this is about another token I'm talking about. But when you look at Ecomi and Vivi, the amount of sales they had, and I kind of look at it like Gala. Like Gala is still out there. Gala is still partnering. Gala is still making revenue. They still continue to sell. They have G Swap, they have film, they have music, etc. So when you look at that, this is different. Like Vivi still continues to make sales. So that's why I said I don't think it's dead because eventually when Bitcoin goes to 250,000, Ecomi will get liquidity. People will still continue to buy their VV. So, anyways, let's take a look at some more of these tweets. Dump coin. Anyways, that's it for the video for Ecomi. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if they're still burning. If anyone has any data, how much are they burning and how much are they making in VV sales? So, anyways, if you want to hear more news about Ecomi, I'll do an update. If someone replies in the comments, I'll take a look. I'll do some research. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one, guys.